This is the KoperCrabb podcast. Yo, what up, motherfuckers? Navene Koperweis here.
I'm Chaney Crabb. Good morning.
Good morning. First morning episode.
Yeah.
Usually we do the podcast the night before.
Yeah, usually we do it the night. We used to do it the weekend before. If we have a guest, we'll do it on the weekend. But usually lately we've been doing it Tuesday night or Tuesday during the day. And last night we went to see Jocko Willink speak live in San Francisco.
I got a copy of his new book. They gave everybody a copy.
Yeah.
Leadership, Strategy, and Tactics.
You know, going...
So, and excited to dig into that one.
Yeah, me too. I got a free copy too. I just didn't bring it to show it off. But, I mean, it's weird because it's been a very weird couple of weeks.
Yeah.
For us behind the scenes, it's been very weird.
A lot of crazy stuff.
A lot of crazy shit going on. Sean Reiner just died, which I didn't know Sean. You didn't know Sean.
Yeah, drummer of Cynic.
Drummer of Cynic and drummer Death.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't know who Sean Reiner is, wake the fuck up and start listening to some good music.
Damn.
But for me, Cynic is one of my favorite bands. And although I didn't know Sean, and I know that the new Cynic wasn't even coming out with Sean on it, a lot of my friends knew Sean.
Yeah.
And it just kind of it hit in a strange way. Like that whole day, I just put on Kindly Bent to Free Us, Trace Denaire. I was listening to both of those records, and Paul's lyrics just have a way of talking you through that kind of situation because they're all like very Buddhist, based in Buddhism.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Kindly Bent to Free Us. There's I can't remember the actual name of the book. It's Kindly Bent to something us. They have a copy of it at Land of Medicine Buddha.
Oh, okay, got it.
And those lyrics just like really touched me. I mean, Jesus Christ, you never really know the way that words are gonna hit you when certain things happen. And yeah, that was just a really weird day. I think the whole metal community was kind of grieving over that one because, to be quite frank with you, bands like ours just wouldn't exist without the type of bands that Sean was in.
Yeah, 100%.
And
100%.
that's just a crazy thing. And of course, then the whole world woke up the next morning and Kobe Bryant had died in a helicopter accident.
Yeah,
which is just like death on top of death. The drummer of Corrosion of Conformity just passed away. It's a lot of death right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then Navene and I we've been going through some weird things this week, which honestly, not us on a with each other basis, but just in our lives. And I was kind of left really confused and not really. I rarely get depressed, but this week has kind of sent me into like a weird state of just being completely dumbfounded. And going and seeing Jocko last night and him talking. Jocko's whole thing is based in leadership and team strategies and things like that. And everything that he said just kind of, and being a leader. And everything that he said just kind of hit me right in the heart last night. I cried a few times somewhat. I mean, I was like, I can't believe that this is happening to me right at this moment in my life when I feel like giving up on a lot of things.
Yeah.
So if you guys haven't checked out Jocko, you go listen to, check him out. Yeah. Very inspiring guy. And yeah.
Yeah, definitely helped me with a lot of stuff when I found out about him, for sure. Like we were already, so I think it was last January that we sort of went through like a transformation, right?
Yeah.
We started working out a lot, we were like, all right, we're going to lose weight, track our calories.
Mm-hmm.
Waking up earlier. We started doing that.
We started waking up at we were both waking up between 5 and 5:30 every single day.
We were doing that. I found out about the whole tracking your money, budgeting that thing in February, so the next month. And I was doing all these sort of more disciplined, strict things with my life, and I was like really into it. And it just so happened at that time I found out about Jocko Willink.
Yeah.
And he was saying get up early, go work out, watch what you eat, blah blah blah. And I was like, this is perfect. This guy rules. Discipline
equals freedom.
Yeah. So I heard about that. On, I don't know. I don't even know how I heard about it. Some clip somewhere on YouTube.
Maybe Joe Rogan. Jocko was on a few Joe Rogan episodes. Is that?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I think I heard him on someone else's podcast or something like that. Yeah. And then, so I instantly was like, wow, this guy's awesome, and listened to his podcast and got a lot of really great stuff out of it. I got one of his books, which had like, it's the Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual. So it's got like, when to wake up, what to eat, workouts to do, mindset. It's more like a coffee table book, though, the way that it's put together. This is like an actual book.
Yeah.
Like the other one has photos and then like kind of just thoughts and stuff like that. It's like thoughts, which is just different things. Sort of overview on things, and then it's actions, which is like the workouts, what to diet. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And so I was just loving that, and I think somewhere along the line I started to like get off that course a little bit. Mm-hmm. It sort of seems like when we moved into the house, because if you missed it, we talked about it in a lot of episodes. We started the podcast living in a barn behind my mom's house. And during that time, we worked super hard. We continued to save a lot of our money, basically living on nothing and saving the rest so that we had enough to move into an actual house here in Santa Cruz. And I think, I don't know what it was, but moving here, I think, I don't know, me especially, I sort of just like fell off my program.
Oh, I absolutely did. I can actually point mine directly back to, we went back to Des Moines, where I'm from, in September, because we started planning our wedding.
Yeah.
And that week is when I fell off, because when I go back to Des Moines, it's like I want to overindulge in things that I remember from when I was a kid, and I got to eat at Bebop's, I got to eat at Tasty Tacos, I have to hit those places up. And after that, we got into the house, and that's when I stopped waking up at 5:30 in the morning. I stopped working out every single day,
right? Which
we were both like on it like we were in the fucking military or something. Like last year, I would say that you and I rarely, we're known for going a little wild. Like
it was like
we're known. Sometimes we like go out and party. And we're known we do that. Last year, I don't think that either of us drank like more than 20 times during the first 7 months. Yeah, I mean, really during the whole year.
Maybe when we moved here, that's another thing. I started like drinking a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think because I was in like this celebratory mode.
Absolutely. Me too.
Like, oh my God, it's been so long since like I've lived in a house, and then you and I have never lived in our own place together.
Let alone a house like this.
So excited.
Yeah.
Just to be here.
Me too.
So I didn't want to leave in the morning. I wanted to sleep as long as I could in the house. Yeah. I wanted to like get back here and not go to the gym and just have fun, quote unquote.
Totally.
But I think that, and it sounds like it's not that big of a deal to go, okay, well, you stopped like, tracking every single thing you eat in MyFitnessPal, and you stopped.
Yeah.
Like, what's the big deal?
Because let's be clear, we both like weigh out our food and count every fucking calorie that we eat. Like it's like we're on a regimen.
Exactly. So we had done that, and I had tracked. It tells you in MyFitnessPal like days you've logged in. Mm-hmm. I remember I was at 270.
I remember you being really.
And I was like 270. I've done this for 270 days. and I was fucking shredded.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane now when I look back on it.
I know. There's a picture
Jacked.
There's a picture of both of us from we played in Mexico last May.
Yeah.
And that was we started really going hard in late January, so that was only a few months in, and we both look fucking insane. Like, cut.
Yeah.
It was insane.
So where I'm going with this is, that sounds superficial, but the thing that's more important than that is I remember how I felt.
Yeah.
Like, my mindset. Mm-hmm. When I woke up in the morning, everything I did that day was intentional.
Absolutely.
Right? So you're taking control of, like, really little things that people don't even think about, such as when you wake up, what you eat, you know, how you exercise, how you treat your body. And it leads to all these other things. Because at that time, that's not the only thing that we were getting done. We were doing all this other great stuff, saving a shitload of money, like, no problem, being like, I don't need anything. I don't need to buy anything. Like, I remember I didn't buy myself anything from January till May. Like, nothing. And I remember because on my birthday, you actually got me that book, that Discipline Equals Freedom book.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I got it, you had gone to work and you just left it for me. And I got home and because I worked on my birthday, and I remember just getting the book and the way it felt to get something, I was like overcome. Like, I wanted to cry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I was just like so strict, and I didn't even care. I didn't even think about, like, oh, I want to buy this and that, you know? Like, I was just on such a fucking war path in my mind.
The same thing I think could be said for eating. Like, being that strict with myself literally made me enjoy everything more.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yes.
I mean, this is, for the record, this is something that we've started to implement again. So we're back on this.
We're going to get there.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
But I remember just sitting all week, because we have cheat meals on Saturdays. That's what we do, because it's the day that both of us have off. It's the day that we really get to spend a lot of time together. So it's our date day, if you will. So we go to Olive Garden. We fucking love
this is what we were doing for that 8 months.
This is what we were doing then. And I remember I would look at the Olive Garden menu every day for like 10 minutes and plan out my meal and just be so excited for that Saturday meal.
And that sounds like, you're torturing yourself and stuff.
It's
not. But I'm going to get to why that's bullshit.
And I just remember how great I felt all week, because first of all, when you eat meals like that Olive Garden meal all week, it becomes like it's lost in the static. It's no longer something fun or cool that you get to do or something that you look forward to.
It's not a treat.
It's not a treat. It's just, okay, I'm feeding my fucking body that's in terrible condition this food that I shouldn't be eating. I'm going to have stomach aches in the middle of the night. I'm going to have to like drink Pepto-Bismol or whatever. But when you only do that once a week,
it's like, doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. And the other days, you just start to get so in tune with how good your body feels when it's eating the correct amount of calories. And when you're working out in the morning and you're just getting pumped, it's like, for the entire first half of last year, I was in fucking kill mode. Yeah. I was in kill mode. I woke up every morning and I was like, I had blinders on and I didn't care about what anyone else was doing.
Flew out of bed. Like, flew out of bed.
Flew.
Just boom, I'm up, dude.
I paid no attention to what was going on around me, who I thought was better than me or anything. Like, I didn't get jealous. I was just like, I'm in fucking kill mode and I'm going to be the best version of Chaney that I can possibly be, because that's all that I can expect from myself.
Right.
And I'm going to do everything I can do. And I just remember how good I felt doing that every day, because like you're saying, I carried that mentality throughout the day. Like last year, and still to this day, I have 4 different jobs. And then I do our merch separately. But I got all of that. I started doing all of that in the middle of this regimented
I think that's
thing.
That's what I'm kind of getting at, is that's why we did it.
Yeah.
Because you don't think about it, but here, let me round this out. So we went to that trip in Des Moines. We're
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, whatever. I'm just gonna like, I'm not gonna worry about what I'm eating while I'm in Des Moines. Right? That's how it started.
Yeah.
And it's like, what I'm trying to make, the point I'm trying to make
To
is
be fair,
this isn't about diet.
Sorry to interrupt you, Navene, but to be fair, we were like eating all of the food we're gonna have at our wedding.
Yeah, of course you have to do that.
And it was
of course
amazing.
you have to do that. So it could have gone, all right, we're gonna just do whatever in Des Moines, and then when we get home, it's back. Let's kill it.
Yeah.
And this isn't even about diet, and that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So whatever, we're gonna eat whatever we want. Okay, we're moving. All right, we're gonna move. All right, we're moving. I'm gonna skip the gym a few times because I'm moving. Oh well, now that we're here, I don't really want to go work out. I'm trying to chill here and have a beer in our little backyard. And then I don't really want to wake up early. I want to stay in our house. It's warm and it's cold outside. It's winter. It's California winter, but it's still pretty cold.
Yeah, it is cold. It gets cold
dark
in Santa Cruz.
Oh shit! So then I'm like, well, it's dark when I leave and it's dark when I get home. Like I want to try to enjoy it all I can, right? Mm-hmm. So now I'm just constantly doing this. Now I'm like on the defense and rather than the offense. You know what I mean? I'm kind of just trying to enjoy as much as I can with the world happening to me, right?
Right.
You see what I mean?
Of course.
Whereas the other way around is like I'm happening to the world. Like no, I'll tell myself when I get to enjoy. I'll be the boss of all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So I was doing all this, and then I was also at that time last year in a really good mindset. Like I would go to work every day. I made posts. I went back and read posts that I had made. It was like, I'm at work. I don't give a fuck. Like I love this even. Yeah. And I remember feeling that way. And then slowly I just like my mind went the other way until last week on Tuesday. I was like, I'm fucking miserable.
Yeah. It was bad. It got dark.
Yeah. I was like, I'm fucking miserable. And I was texting you from work and I was like, honestly, man, fuck all this. Like, let's sell all of our shit and live in the van. I literally meant it. Mm-hmm. Like, I felt like I was going to cry or break down at work. And then I came home. I was in a fucking terrible mood. We probably got into some little argument or something.
I don't think so.
We probably,
I don't think we did.
All right, maybe. That would help the story, but...
If this were a movie, we got into a gigantic fight.
I was in noticeably a bad mood, right? Can we put
You were in an awful mood to the point that it was dragging me down because I'm not... No matter like what I'm going through, I try not to because of the nature of my work, because I work with people who are going through stuff that's way worse than what I could ever imagine going through. I really try to like keep my head up when I'm at work, and that's one place where I don't let shit defeat me. And you going through the complete opposite was like dragging me down.
Yeah, it's horrible.
To the point that like we didn't get into an argument, but I came home from work one night because on Wednesdays and Fridays I get off at midnight.
Yeah.
I work 15-hour days. So I got home at 1:00 in the morning and you were like still up kind of sulking. And I was like visibly pissed because
like, what's wrong with you?
Like, what's wrong with you? Because for you, you are Navene. And I think that everyone around you could kind of attest to this, that you're supposed to be the strong guy.
Yeah.
And to see you not being the mentally tough guy, because you do not like, there are so many things that we've gone through in our relationship where if I'm feeling down, you are no fucking way you're feeling down. But it also happens the opposite. Yeah. You feel down and I'm not.
Yeah.
And to see you at that ultimate low, like really fucked me up and pissed me off, frankly.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
I know.
And I kind of like came at you like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Look around us. We have all of this stuff and we have like...
Yeah, so that's the worst part, right? So my life had become measurably better in every single way, right? And all the things, all the practices that we did, like all that good mindset that we were in is what got us all these things.
Yeah.
But then I stopped doing all the things that got me to where we are now.
Right.
Right? So then the next day at work, I was working like right on Highway 1 on this insane house that's like, I install motorized shades. That's what I do if people don't know. So I was I work in these really crazy houses all over
and
the Bay Area.
Highway 1, for those of you who aren't aware, is one of the most famous stretches of highway in the country, because you're literally driving along the coastline from, I think, San Diego all the way up to close to Seattle. So that's where you were working.
So I'm working there.
Looking at the ocean.
It's beautiful. And I'm there. I'm going to be there for 2 days. So I go on, I think this was Tuesday. I texted you, let's move in the van. And you're like, what the hell's your problem? You're insane. And I was like, whatever. She doesn't get it. This sucks. Mm-hmm. And then I was literally thinking that, like, you don't get it.
Yeah.
Right. Which is like such a stupid thing to think. Right. It's such a weak thing to think.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand, man. It's like, yeah, of course, whatever. That doesn't matter. So thinking that way, and then I go to work the next day, and I'm off Highway 1. It's beautiful scenery. I mean, literally, like, ocean view that's just ridiculous. And I was working there for 2 days. So I was there. I was in a fucking terrible mood. I was tired because I'd stayed up late. I didn't wake up early. I didn't go to the gym. I'm just eating, like, whatever. Just kind of like, oh, I'm hungry. I'll eat something. 3 tortillas or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just at work, and a guy that I work with, his name is Govey, and I met him probably over the summer, maybe, yeah, I think it was spring or summer. He started working with us, and he's like into bodybuilding, right? And he's just never wavered, just doing his thing, right? So this whole time that I've been sort of getting off course, it's like he's at work, and I see him periodically just like, yep, still here eating plain chicken and sweet potatoes and, in great shape, in great mood all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And we kind of bonded when we first met because we were both like bringing meals and containers to work and, getting up early and working out all the time. And people would make fun of us for like weighing chicken out and stuff like that, and we're like, cool, you guys are like, look at you and look at me.
Which is one of those things that is definitely a thing that you have to combat when you are eating like that. Like, I've faced that every time I've been on some, when I was vegetarian and vegan and weighing my food now, people get hell of offended, very offended about what you eat. And that's so strange to me. People care so much about what other people are consuming. But,
so like right there, we were having lunch, and I'm just eating whatever, some sandwich that someone bought me, and he's like, I've got my chicken salad, still on the path, keeping it real. And I was just like, at that moment, it all just became clear to me, like instantly. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm no longer happening to the world. The world's happening to me.
Yeah.
I'm being reactionary.
Yeah.
And when you're reactionary like that, you become miserable because you're not in control anymore.
So
and I
true.
was like, I let everything take control of me, And it sounds stupid. Like, oh, the way you eat is not going to make you happy. But to me, it does, because you're every single thing is thought out in your life. And you feel this like sense of ownership in your life. It leads to other things, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, I'm off my program. And on top of that, I got hurt at jiu-jitsu.
Right.
So I was just like, my shoulder hurt and everything, so I couldn't go to jiu-jitsu, which was the one thing that I was sticking with. And I remember right then and there, I was just like, I looked around, I saw this beautiful view, I saw my man eating a chicken salad, and I was just like, I said to him, I was like, Govey, dude, tomorrow I'm bringing my own food. Like, I'm back.
Yeah.
And from the rest of the day, dude, I was in a great mood. And what did I do? The next day, I got up 5:30, hit the gym. No, I went home. I went and bought a bunch of healthy food. Meal prepped it all. Remember that?
Yeah.
Made my lunch for the next day. Laid out my clothes laid my clothes out. That's what I used to do. Boom. Woke up, went to the gym, had my coffee. I had my food on me. And I was just like, I'm back, dude.
Yeah.
I was in a fucking great mood at work, and I was like, you know what?
I'm
in control of all this shit.
And
fuck you.
You doing that also, when you told me that you were doing all of that, I was like, you know what? You're fucking right. I'm back on the program too. I'm done with this bullshit. First of all, I love waking up hours before work. I've never felt better about being at work and doing that stuff than when I took control and woke up a few hours earlier, so that when I get to work, I'm wide awake. I've worked out. I've been in the sauna. I'm like ready to go.
Yeah, I know.
When I
You're
get
looking
to
at
work.
other people. They're all, oh, I'm tired and this and that. It's like, cool, dude.
And,
I just fucking worked out.
I think that although this is something that I've believed in for a long time, with, you know, you can put it up to the law of attraction or any kind of other philosophy type thing. The most powerful thing about Jocko's speech, I guess you would call it, last night, to me was the idea of ownership, the idea of taking control over everything in your life, because the premise of his whole thing was death. In war, there is death. In life, there is death. That is the only thing. And if you know anything about my writing in Dark Future, it's like I focus on that a lot. This life is all we have, and we're all going to die. That's all that's going to happen. But while we're alive, getting through all of these obstacles and having all of these things come our way that could throw us into emotional turmoil or depression or make us want to quit what we're doing, when all of that stuff occurs, I believe, and what Jocko kind of nailed into my head last night, that I'm going to be defined not by the person that I am when I'm facing nothing, no kind of hardship. My life will be defined by the type of person that I am when I'm facing the hardships of my life, the way that I react in those things. And he talked about, he touched on what you're saying, which is not being stuck in your own body and being reactionary to everything that's happening, because that's not a way to conduct life. You'll see things start to go off the edge if you do that.
Yeah, and when people do the reactionary thing, what do? They go, oh, I don't have any money. Let me just put this on my credit card.
Yeah.
I don't have anything. I didn't bring anything healthy to eat for lunch. Let me just go to McDonald's.
Yeah, that's reactionary.
Exactly.
What you have to do is step back and view yourself as if you're the other people viewing yourself.
Exactly.
Step back, don't put your emotions into it, and start making decisions based on viewing a situation from the outside and having a full understanding of what is going on.
Yep.
Because that's the only way that you're going to be a leader. That's the only way that you're going to get through life.
Yep.
And not feel wounded by certain things that happen to you and stuck in a moment. And I will tell you, like, I've been through a lot of shit. You've been through a lot of shit. I'm sure you guys have been through a lot of shit.
Yeah,
there are a lot of times in life where something happens to you and you can hold on to that as your wound, and you can let that affect you for the rest of your life. You can just sit. For me, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. Here's a situation. I've never met my biological father. I've never met him. He died. I'm never going to have a chance to do that. So what I could have done is sat and let that define me for my entire life. But instead, you know what? I have the most amazing dad in the world. His name is Sean. He's not my biological father, but he's my dad. Yeah. I went through that. I let go of the dad thing. I've let go of the shit that's affected me, and I've grown up, and I don't wear any of that stuff on me. I don't let that affect me at all. I'm going to be the person who I am despite all of that shit.
Yeah.
I don't care about it. If I did sit around and worry about that stuff, maybe I'd be a drug addict, or maybe I would be someone who was like, woe is me my entire life. But
and it's tempting to do that.
It is.
Because it's sort of in a weird way, like when I was throwing myself a pity party, it feels good. You know, it feels kind of good when you're doing that.
It does.
In
it feels
a weird
great.
way, right?
Yeah.
But nobody around, it doesn't benefit anyone around you. And it feels better to do the other thing. The other thing is just harder.
It's way harder.
You know?
But it makes you a stronger person and a more admirable person in the long run to be the person who isn't like truly deeply affected by those kind of situations.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And especially for like those around you, right? I mean, everybody has people around them in some way.
Yeah.
And I want them to look at me and be like, I want to be like Navene.
Yeah.
You know, that's my goal in life.
That's mine too. Mine too.
And so I do think of that. And even when I was throwing the pity party, I knew that that's not the right thing for my family to see. That's not the right thing. It's not the right example.
For anyone, yeah. Because I don't know why. I think maybe it's because we're both firstborn kids. I'm always interested in that like child psychology, but both of us kind of don't really wallow. We don't like to get caught up in that shit. We like to be like the leader, the person that people can look up to. And I don't know why we ended up that way. I don't know why that type of stuff affects us both and speaks to us both, but that's truly who I aspire to be, and I've felt the best in my life when I was following that path.
Exactly. So I think that was literally Wednesday, 1 week ago, that I sort of had that little epiphany. It hit me at work that I was like, oh, okay, I gave up all the great things that got me to this point. And that's why now I'm struggling to keep up, right? It's kind of like if you are an athlete or something, right? And you do all this hardcore training and it gets you to this point, and then you just go, well, I'm at the point, I'm going to stop doing the training.
Yeah.
No, it's like that's when you have to train even harder.
That's right.
Right? So it totally hit me, and I was like, that's what's wrong with me. That's why I'm fucking miserable. That's why I'm saying fuck this and everything.
Yeah.
And literally the next day, I showed up with my fucking Tupperware, with my chicken or whatever, you know? I'm hungry, a little bit hungry, literally. And I'm just like, I felt great.
Yeah.
I was like, let's fucking get this job done, Govey, you know? And we nailed the job. I was in a great mood. I had to talk to a bunch of people there. No problem. I wasn't like sitting there going, oh, rolling my eyes and, you know, in a bad mood and like, fuck these people. I was super stoked. What did I do? I came home. I mean, in this last week, I've made like 4 drum videos.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas before I was making like 0
a
week. So it bleeds into everything.
I also want to give a shout out to the guy who commented on our video last week saying that you want to see like a screaming or a drumming video from me and Navene every day, because you directly are the reason that I went into my room, my studio last Wednesday, and I made a fucking vocal video and put it up online, and I was just like, here you go, because you inspired me. I was like, awesome. You're right. I should be doing, like, what do I believe that I was put here to do? And one of those things is being a vocalist. And I was like, this guy is totally fucking right. Why am I sitting here dicking around and not putting out
it? Oh, I don't want to
overthinking it.
Put too much stuff
or
out.
Like, oh man, my friends like aren't going to want to follow me on the internet anymore if I'm annoying and put up screaming videos. And you know what? Fuck all of that.
Yeah,
I'm so sick of thinking about what other people think or what other people are going to do in their lives, or because I don't think that feeling is that reciprocated, really. Like, I believe in like this whole team thing, and I believe in like sticking together as a group. And the more that I care about that, the worse it gets. And it's like, I'm done caring about that shit. I just want to be like the best me.
Yeah. Like it's like when you see somebody like Jocko living, he's like, I'm over here doing my thing.
Yeah.
I don't need to like motivate you.
Yeah.
I don't need to get your approval. I'm doing my thing, whatever. And that's so much more inspiring to me.
Exactly. Because by doing his thing and by paying no mind to anyone around him, he is changing people's lives, because you see who you want to be through the way that other people live.
Exactly. Sorry, I was just looking at this.
Yeah, that was very weird.
I'm having a little technical thing here, but whatever, it's going to work.
Honestly, we got up this morning. I have to work in like 45 minutes, so I think we're going to wrap this up. But really, I think what both of us want you guys to walk away with on this episode is it's time, if you haven't, it's time to take control of your life.
Yeah, and don't overlook the small things, right? That's my final point. Like, if you can't take control of like what time you get up and what you eat on a daily basis, then how are you going to take control of a huge band?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How are you going to take control of like if you can't get your own personal finances in order and you're in a mountain of debt or whatever with no way out, then how do you think you're going to operate a band or a business that's going to be profitable? You see what I'm saying?
Of course. I probably know it.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. We know it better than a lot of people. How much taking control of your personal life can change everything in your art.
Exactly. Like it's like if you can't walk, then you can't run. So in order to take care of these really big things in life, when you take care of the small things first, it starts stepping up, snowballing, if you will.
And
right?
What I think I can tell you guys from this whole experience is that snowball is nothing but good.
It's nothing but good, man.
This beginning of this year, up until now, when I've started getting back on this whole thing, has been really strange.
It's been strange.
And it's not been the best start to a year ever. I have been with all of these people saying kind of like fuck 2020.
Yeah.
Because I just got into a slump, man.
But no, we noticed it.
Now we're taking control.
We're turning it around. But so we got back kind of late last night. We had to literally wake up early to do this before Chaney goes to work right now, and I got a bunch of crap to do. So it's a shorter episode.
Yeah.
But I think we drank enough coffee to get the point across.
That's right. Take control, you guys.
Take control.
We're going to, and I hope you guys can too.
And don't forget to pick up a mug. This is the first time we've
coffee will
drank
help
coffee
you take control.
out of the coffee mugs. It is on the show.
Yeah, it might
for
be.
me.
Not me. But.
Anyway, Chaney, any final thoughts?
Fuck the world.
Fuck the world, baby.
Get yours.
All right, you guys. Thanks for paying attention, and thanks for hanging out with us.
We love y'all.
We'll see you next week, baby.